And now, the segment we like to call Alex reads a random line from a Lovecraft thing. Because he still has the book beside him.
Okay.
Can I find the most ridiculous line?
Gosh.
Before she saw what he was doing, he had the chain of the crucifix twisted about her neck, and a moment later he had tightened it, enough to cut off her breath. Wait, I fucked up that entire sentence. But you know.
That sounds like a movie I would watch.
I was saying it's like a sex quote.
Yeah.
That was from The Dreams in the Witch House.
Dreams in the Witch House. Speaking of which, I just got New York Ripper today on Blu-ray.
Is that about a witch house?
No.
Then why the fuck should you bring it up?
I don't know.
And welcome everyone to an episode
of Thunder
of
Road,
the Digital Drive-In Podcast. My name is Alex, and I'm joined as always by my underage co-host Garrett DiNardo.
Hi.
Who's not, but he is old enough to party. And on this show, we talk about some of our favorite movies and what we like about them and what makes them great. And they're probably not your favorite movies, but they're ours, mostly mine. I forced Garrett to watch a lot of movies. What movie did I force you to buy today, Garrett? It took 7 months to come in.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell was up with that. It is well, it's not a Judd Apatow movie, is it? It's the Seth Rogen penned movie, Superbad, from 2007.
I think Apatow probably produced it.
Did
but
he? Maybe. Well, it's definitely
That's my
not directed by Apatow, but it is produced.
No. Yeah.
But he's not even an
But it's
executive
written
producer.
by-
He's just a producer.
Written by, like you said, Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg.
Two Jews.
Jesus.
Yeah, don't put that in there unless it's funny.
Oh, it's Dan. And anyway, those two have made a lot of movies over the years, but this was one of the first ones I remember them writing together, at least that I saw.
Are you a big
Of
Seth
course,
Rogen
they also
fan?
did. Yeah, kinda. I like his style of humor. The only one I really didn't like was like Sausage Party. The rest I thought was pretty good.
You like the Green Hornet?
Well, okay, no. Of the Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg stuff, so like Pineapple Express and This Is the End, Superbad, that kind of stuff, I think typically pretty funny. Again, Superbad was the only one I really, Sausage Party was the only one that I really didn't like all that much.
What about The Watch?
Did they write that?
Yeah,
The two of them?
yeah.
That one was fine. It wasn't really great. I'd never watch it again. But
And it was
the three that I listed are fucking hilarious.
directed by the guy from The Lonely Island.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
What about you? Are you a big Seth Rogen fan?
No. In fact, I would
Didn't
have
think
to
so.
say probably this and 40-Year-Old Virgin are like my two favorites of his. that he's in.
Right.
He didn't.
He's
write
barely
it.
in 40-year-old
Yeah, he
version.
didn't write it either.
What about Knocked Up? You don't like Knocked Up?
I don't know if I've actually seen that one.
That one I thought was pretty good. That was one of the better Judd Apatow movies that I had seen. But
It's sort of like
he is always the same in all of his movies.
the stoner immature comedy is not necessarily my forte
Sure.
because I was never that in high school.
Sure. Neither was I. But I still find it
Whatever.
funny
I know
'cause
you
have a
are.
sense of
You're a
humor.
pothead.
Wait, I gotta drink some water. Hold on.
That's fantastic. But it's I don't think that their movies are bad. You know what I mean? Like I don't hate Joan.
You just wish they would stop doing it and that they would die.
It's the same thing. Like I don't care that Adam Sandler keeps making comedies. I found him really funny at the beginning of his career, not so much in the last 15 years. But it doesn't bother me that they still make movies,
Right.
It's just not
Right.
necessarily my thing. It's not like I'm like, ooh, another Seth Rogen film.
I feel like this is a cheap imitation of me.
You do sound a lot like that.
I think you brought some lube.
But this director, I don't really like.
No, I think this is really the only thing he's made that is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, because Adventureland was actually terrible. I did not like Adventureland,
Right.
and I don't know if I've seen any of his other movies. I didn't see
You
Paul.
able to fuck me with your 4-inch dick without the lube? Paul only works because of Pagan Frost. That's about it.
Never heard of him.
You're a fucking idiot. But yeah, this is Superbad's pretty good though. It has a whole slew of actors and lines and stuff that we could probably dive into. Not really sure what you wanted to talk about for it, but
Well, first off, like, who are some of your favorite characters in this?
obviously the main three are fucking hilarious.
And who are they?
Seth Rogen. No, just kidding. Seth, though, is played by Jonah Hill,
Yeah.
who is definitely meant to be Seth Rogen
Yes.
because him and Evan Goldberg actually wrote this in high school, Superbad. And it was probably polished up along the way and whatever, but they wrote a first early draft of it while the two of them were in high school together, which probably feels why it feels a little bit more genuine, I think, to what like an actual high schooler would talk like and be like and act like. But so Jonah Hill plays Seth. Michael Cera plays Evan. Or in this movie, I don't even remember what the fucking character's name is.
No, it's Evan.
Holy shit.
It's Evan.
It is Evan, eh? Yeah, so it is supposed to be the two of them.
Right.
And then Christopher Mintz-Plasse plays Fogel or McLevin, who's, I think, one of cinema's crowning achievements.
Oh, this was his introductory role, right?
This was his first movie ever, yeah. And I like him. I liked him in like Kick-Ass. I thought he was pretty good as the villain in that. Red Mist.
Mhm. Spoilers for that movie.
And yeah, whatever. He's not good in Kick-Ass 2, but nobody is.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are the three. I'm done talking for the rest of the podcast.
Okay. Well, so you haven't even named my two favorite characters yet.
Who presumably would be
Bill
played by
Hader.
Seth Rogen and Bill Hader.
Bill Hader is hilarious in this.
Bill Hader's hilarious in everything. We'll get to him in a little bit because I want to talk about Barry.
Barry.
And who's your other favorite?
Emma Stone.
Oh, right. Yes, she's also in this as a smaller part, but like she's listed in one of the credits with like 4 names stacked on each other. It's kind of funny to see where she is now, and then this is one of her earlier roles.
Yeah, she has a very distinct personality, and it is a good foil against the what could have been like an all boys club movie.
Right.
She can hang.
And I definitely think this kind of movie is what pushed her into like Easy A.
Right.
I think somebody probably saw this and then said, you know, she'd be perfect, tweak the character a little bit for her own movie, and then, you know, Easy A is the movie that kind of propelled her into stardom a little bit as well.
Yeah, now she's like in all serious movies.
Yeah.
Well, except for like the new Zombieland.
Especially that Yorgos. That Yorgos movie's terrible.
I've never heard of it.
What is it called?
That's hilarious.
What's the opposite of favorite? I don't give a shit.
The person that I do not prefer.
That's what it's called. Yep.
It's kind of, that's the thing is that it's such a terrible title. It doesn't roll off the tongue.
I know. I guess we better change it. What do you want to call it?
The Partridge Family.
Okay.
The House of
everybody
Bunnies.
in this cast, the House of Bunnies.
Yes. You got to leave me a pause to come up with some jokes. Continue.
Yeah, but really, all of the cast in this movie are all fucking hilarious, and they all kind of work well with each other, which I think kind of brings up more of the funny bits of the movie, elevates them a little bit higher. I don't think if you had anybody else in any of these roles, it would have worked as well. I think it's one of those ensemble pieces that kind of relies on every single part of it.
I kind of think Beck is a little eh.
Sure. Yeah. And actually, she's in Barry. I just remember that. She's a short part in that. But when you get like the main 3, having anybody else in the main 3 role, I think would be insane.
Right.
The way they bounce off of each other, especially in some of the earlier stuff, is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. No, they have a really good chemistry with each other. It actually seems like 3 kids that would hang out with each other.
Yeah. Especially that funny scene where McLovin comes back with the fake ID, and they find out that his name is McLovin, and that he's from Hawaii, a Hawaiian organ donor that's 25 years old.
Why would you pick 25?
That's such a hilarious. Like, this is so smart. Because everybody puts 21 or 22 on their fake IDs. How many 21s do you think there are living in this town? It's called some fucking strategy. Muhammad is the most popular name in the world. Read a book. Read a fucking book for once.
I like the fact that Dave Franco is only in this for like 15 seconds.
And is pretty much uncredited.
It's my favorite role of his.
Didn't you piss? Oh my god. Or didn't you piss your pants? And he's like, that was like 8 years ago, asshole. Oh god.
I love the whole setup of him trying to use the fake McLovin trying to use the fake ID, and then like everything that transpires.
What do you mean? Which part?
Like when the place gets robbed and he gets punched, and so the cops get called. It's just this. I mean, it's almost like screenwriting 101, whereas the funny part is the escalation of the issue. It's like, is he going to get found out because of how ridiculous this card is? And it's like everything goes by fine, seemingly. But it's just like everything just keeps getting worse and worse and piled on, and he can't like get out of the situation.
And then also on top of that, Seth and Evan coming back and seeing the cop cars and just assuming that he had been caught.
Yeah, that's a classic comedy
because
setup.
they were chasing a woman with big tits.
Which is totally something I would have done in high school. We got to get there.
Oh man, speaking of big tits, I'm just I'll randomly throw out some quotes throughout as well.
Okay.
So a good one is when they're talking about Evan's mom at the start, and he goes, "Man, I'm so jealous you got to suck on those titties as a kid." And Seth goes, "Yeah," or Evan goes, "Yeah, well, at least you got to suck on your dad's dick." Oh man, every time I just lost my mind. The first couple times I watched the movie, I lose my mind at that scene. It's hilarious. Just that line. It's like he pretty much plays George Michael, except vulgar. And it's hilarious. Did I lose you?
Nope, I'm still here. I was waiting to make sure if you were finished.
I am finished.
All right. Splooge.
I'm still standing.
I like the sections of where Seth is just going to, or Jonah Hill playing Seth, goes into the supermarket to steal vodka with the gold flakes in it. Like he starts imagining all the things that could go wrong. It's like, I still do that.
Yeah.
So I just think it's hilarious.
And the cop like slits his throat with the bottle.
Yeah, it's like that happens. There's this huge fight, or it's like he helps the grandma out with something, and like she's gonna buy everything
that
for him.
Would be lovely.
He pulls the money. Jewels. He pulls the $80 bill out of his sleeve.
That'll be $80. Wow. Will this be good? Sure is.
Or the argument that Jonah Hill has with the teacher about being late for class, or like not having his assignment or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of it is wish fulfillment for young kids in high school.
Right. Sorry for cursing. For some reason, I would just sit around all day and draw pictures of dicks. I was very secretive about this whole dick operation. One day, I'm finishing up this real big, veiny, triumphant bastard, and all of a sudden, and I love that you hit Becca's foot with your dick. Yeah, I know.
Well, I love that he keeps all of the pictures in his lunchbox.
His Ghostbusters lunchbox. Just shut the fuck up, Fogel. And take off that vest. You look like Aladdin. So who's your, talk about your favorite characters, because I think we share a favorite in Bill Hader's cop character. Just Bill Hader, basically.
Yeah, that's it. Like, Bill just being Bill has this natural vibe of being hilarious.
It's this weird, absurd kind of comedy that he does.
Yeah.
The way he says everything is just, so fucking funny.
He plays it multi-layered too, because it's like there's a couple of the jokes that Seth Rogen as his partner has to explain to him, but then he busts out laughing because it's dirty.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just there's a lot of really fun stuff like that, or it's like, yeah, go ahead, shoot the gun.
What's it like to have a gun? Well, it's like having two cocks, except one of your cock can shoot someone. Or like when they're like quoting Yoda. Oh yes, you know that? That's Yoda from Attack of the Clones.
It's like the ultimate of dad humor sometimes.
I know. And Bill Hader is just always great though. I've always loved him in everything that I've seen him in.
Yeah, how can you not like him?
Which is why a show like Barry on HBO is amazing.
Wow.
And I'm plugging that. It's a comedy drama mix about a hitman who is sick of the hitman life and wants to become an actor in LA, but he keeps getting drawn back because people are fucking idiots. So he keeps having to go back, even though he just wants to be an actor. And Bill Hader is hilarious, but he's also just a phenomenal actor. Some of the more serious stuff he does is absolutely, especially towards the end of the first season, it's just amazing, amazing work from him in like a serious performance kind of stuff. And some of his direction as well, because he directs and writes a lot of the show, is some next level stuff. There's an episode in season 2 that's like this just bizarre, surrealist half hour of television, and it's just amazing. It's amazing stuff. Watch it. I said amazing too many times, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even just saying watch it to you. I'm saying it to anybody who isn't watching Barry to watch Barry, because yep.
Some of us have other things to do.
Some of us have other things to do.
No, I will check it out at some point.
It's good stuff. I wonder if you can get the Blu-rays cheap or anything, so you don't have to go back to.
Are they even on Blu-ray? I don't see anything called Barry on Blu-ray from the US.
Oh, really?
You sure it's not on DVD? It's on DVD, my friend.
Oh wow. He said it was Blu-ray, that son of a bitch.
It's basically one season on DVD is what it would cost to subscribe for a month.
Well, I mean, might as well just get or get a different email address. Sign up to HBO for a free trial. Rip through it and then cancel.
It's like shows like that. I almost like for them to be complete, and then like buy, because like right now Spartacus the complete series, which is what, like 4 seasons, 5 seasons, $27.
Right, that's pretty good.
So it's like, I kind of think that like when it hovers down to like the $20-$25 range, unless something like The Sopranos, which like is usually like $45, is when I go ahead and I'm still waiting on Deadwood to get that cheap, or to have a complete with the movie and everything in it.
Mm-hmm.
So when that happens, I will look into it then.
I'm only thinking there's probably a year or 2 left of it.
Yeah, I mean,
Can't see him stretching it out.
HBO series usually don't last extremely long.
Well, I can see him doing either in a 3-act structure or like slightly longer. Maybe he'll do 5 seasons because it's acting and then Shakespeare.
Acting.
Because like, you know how most Shakespeare plays are in 5 acts? Maybe he'll do like that. Anyway.
Well, enjoy your remaining years.
Enjoy fucking Jules.
I will!
That would be lovely! He's when fucking Jonah Hill's in the middle of ranting and he kicks a soccer ball. You're getting that? No, I'm not.
The whole like the Evan and Becca conversation when they're both drunk and she's trying to have sex with him is hilarious.
I'm wet. Yeah, the health teacher said that would happen.
Yeah, your cock is so smooth. Yours would be 2 if you were a man.
God. I love how McLovin is the only one that truly gets laid the whole night.
And then he asks the cops to drag him out.
I know. Ooh, it's in. My God. Major cock block by the cops too, and they feel bad and they sit down on the bed.
I know. When that first happened, I was like, oh no, the cops are going to think here's a 25-year-old screwing a chick in high school. They're going to arrest him for pedophilia.
I think they knew it was a fake.
Yeah. Well, that's what they end up saying, but I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be hilarious. Don't cheat on your age, kids.
When they go to the bar and McLovin takes the guy out and they all get free drinks.
Mm-hmm.
We get a couple more for the road.
I like the clothing choices in this as well.
The clothing choices and the music side by side.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the one scene where they like take the bus and they get off the bus. It's playing like old 70s kind of funk.
Yeah, because of the pants he's wearing.
Yeah, I know.
But it's like when we're first
shirt.
introduced to Seth, he's wearing a Richard Pryor t-shirt. I'm like, man, I wish I could have wore one of those in school. That would have been awesome. And then he's wearing like we weren't allowed to have like big logos on our shirts in school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's Alabama for you.
Uniform in high school.
And then he has like a Bruce Lee shirt, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. One of the most relatable bits of the whole movie is at the beginning when Evan's playing games at his house and he just dies. I don't get it. Like, why would they make it you just can't win? That's just not fun.
Which is a preview of how he would be in Scott Pilgrim.
Yes.
Do you know how many foods are shaped like dicks? The best kinds.
The best kind. Hot dogs and popsicles. Oh, this dude's got period blood on his pants.
I thought that was hilarious too.
It was so funny. Just the whole scene at the party is awesome. And the guy that hits them with the car.
Yes.
Charles Boyle.
I mean, it's funny because it's like the comedy distinction between high school girls and college girls was like dead on.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, now the funny thing about my back is that it's located on my cock.
You ever try that as a pickup line?
And I love how Emma Stone's character laughs at it, like the awkward kind of laugh, like she's into him. But like her friend's just like, "What the fuck did you just say?" Her friend standing beside her, the Australian friend that has one line in the whole movie and botches it really hard. Could buy us booze? Every time I touch that, I'm like, nice, you had one line. You can just fucking look at those nips. They look like little baby toes. We shouldn't be cock blocking McLovin. We should be guiding his cock.
I like when he says that he's old enough to party.
I know. So your name is just McLovin? Yeah? Badass. God.
Did you notice much about the direction? Or like the cinematography?
No, not really.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way. It was definitely a character piece.
It's serviceable in order to tell the jokes. It's not trying to be like comedic through the direction or anything.
Right.
It's just kind of reverse shots to just say the lines rather than do anything interesting like an Edgar Wright where he'll have comedy in the edit kind of thing.
Right.
I do think it's like good comedies I find are usually well edited, like this one where they could be like snappy enough that it makes sense. But I think this one had more to do with the chemistry of the characters is what made it strong. Because I mean, a bad editing in comedy can like just kill jokes kind of thing, dead air in between or not making them feel natural enough, I think. But this one does a pretty good job of feeling kind of constantly hilarious. So I think again that's part of the cast and the writing, but I think the editing too. But yeah, the direction I don't think is very interesting. It's kind of just serviceable.
I 100% agree.
So what else are we going to talk about in this?
That no one has gotten a hand job in cargo shorts since Nom.
Untrue. I'll leave it at that. So like my favorite character, again, I already talked about McLovin a bit, and we both talked about Bill Hader, who's our favorites. But you liked Emma Stone's character. You didn't really talk about why?
I think a lot of it is the fact that in like prototypical, stereotypical form, it seems like a lot of times the ladies can't be raunchy in raunchy comedies. That it's like they have to be more the sweet, innocent. They're the ones that calm the guys down. Now, of course, like in modern times, especially, I think we've had a lot more of like bridesmaids type comedies where the girls show that they can hang with the boys in that department.
Sure.
But I just think that it was good for like a teen comedy for Emma Stone to be able to like say those kind of jokes and not be apologetic for it. And for them to actually have some adult situations where they decide, you know what, we don't have to fuck each other to have a relationship. We can start slow.
Yeah.
And I just think there's things about that where it's like it actually gets pulled off believable and relatable and kind of teaches a little bit of a lesson in a comedy, which is a good thing. So I just thought it was neat that they didn't treat her like a secondary character, even though she didn't have a huge amount of screen time.
100% agree with that. That's pretty good. Good observation. I'm nuts.
Unlike Becca, which I kept just thinking, man, I wish like someone else had been cast in this role. like, why do you like her so much?
God. Okay, I'm sorry, Garrett, that the Coen brothers don't direct the kind of porn that I like. They're kind of hard to get a hold of.
I did laugh out loud at that line.
I wanted to be want all people to think that you suck dick at fucking pussy. It's just the way some of it's written. It's so good. I want to be the Iron Chef of pounding Vaj.
You know who would have been a good Becca?
Who?
Jenna Malone.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, she hasn't been in anything recent that I really love.
Yeah, Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition. Only the Ultimate Edition. They cut her out of the original.
I don't even remember who she plays in that. Who does she play? What character?
She's only in the Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
She's a ballistics lab tech.
Oh.
When Lois is investigating the bullet, who's like, "Look, this is a bullet." And then they come back to her later, and they have the most important scene in the entire fucking movie that was only in the Ultimate Edition, which is where she examines the wheelchair and goes, "Oh my god, the wheelchair is made out of lead," which was left out of the theatrical cut. But like watching the theatrical cut, you're like, "Oh great, why didn't Superman see the explosion about to happen and save everybody?" But then in the Ultimate cut, they're like, "Oh, it was made out of lead, so they couldn't see the explosives through the wheelchair." Fuck the editors of that movie originally.
But then that also brings up the point, why didn't he see this weird object that he couldn't see in a wheelchair?
Sure. Or does the lead just look like a solid brick, or does it more look like oh, there must not be anything there because I can't see anything abnormal through the wheelchair?
It's like I was able to just talk myself out of, he was so focused on the thing at hand, he wasn't prepared for what people could do.
No. Which is, again, Henry Cavill makes that face of like, "Holy fuck, I fucked up," right after it happens,
Right.
and then
So
flies
it's
away.
like, hey, visually they kind of told you.
Yeah.
But whatever. This isn't the Batman v
That's
Superman.
Let's do it next. Do it next week. Let's do it next week.
You want to do it?
Let's do it next week.
Do you?
Let's do it next week. Let's do it next week. Let's do it last week.
Do you really want to do it? Because that's like 3 hours. I mean, I don't mind doing it. I need to watch it again.
We've been talking about it for years.
We've been talking about it for years.
Centuries, even.
Yeah, because next week is the 4th of July, right?
The perfect movie to watch on the 4th of July. It's all about American values.
Well, I mean, we would probably need to do the podcast before then. I was just thinking, I have the 4th.
Like beating the shit out of each other without talking to each other. Even though it's just a misunderstanding.
I know you like beating
the most
shit.
true of American values.
Are you going to get everything out before we even do it?
Irrationally hating somebody.
You know who makes a good Superman? Bill Hader.
That would be awesome. I would watch the shit out of that, to be honest. But just exactly like his Superbad character, but just Superman. You know who'd be a good Superman? Michael B. Jordan. This is a fucking throwback to something that didn't come out. Look at that.
Now, whose fault is that?
Superman? Danny DeVito.
It's Danny DeVito's fault?
Yeah. I'm the trash man. Anyway, let's keep talking about Superbad. So what else did you want to talk about this movie? Because we kind of went over the characters and we went over a lot of our favorite quotes and stuff.
What?
But did you kind of want to talk about other movies?
How many episodes did you get into Too Old to Die Young?
One.
Oh, fuck you.
I'm working a lot. Okay.
I don't want to hear one iota about Barry when you haven't watched the best modern fucking television show ever.
Wow, better than Twin Peaks?
No.
The Return?
But that's the thing is Twin
you're a
Peaks
fucking liar,
started
huh?
25 years ago.
The Return didn't start 25 years ago.
know.
Shithead. I'm gonna watch it. I was
No.
trying to play Last of Us,
Meh.
and then I finished that,
Meh.
and now I'm playing God of War.
Meh.
And the show's too damn slow, and I have no patience.
Bo.
I'm gonna watch it, shithead. Anyway, why did you derail me like that? I was going on a interesting segue into another idea for Superbad, but then you have to come in here and be a goddamn son of a bitch.
Meh.
Fuck you, Tony Clifton.
If only everyone
Meh.
could see the face I was doing. It looked just like it. Honest.
Whether I'm right, whether I'm wrong.
That's a completely different section of humanity to go into. So what were you saying?
Okay. Fuck you.
Well, yeah, but
So next week we'll do Batman vs Superman, and the week after we'll do Too Old to Die Young. And between now and then, I'll watch the other 9 episodes of it, and then you can shut the fuck up. Sound like a plan?
I love it.
Stan.
That was a quote from The Shining.
What was?
I love it.
Yeah, because that's been in nothing else other than just The Shining.
It was the way I enunciated it specifically. It made me picture Jack dipping his bacon into his
start right now. Get the fuck out of here.
into his bacon into his egg yolks.
Dip your bacon in my egg yolk.
Why don't you start right now and get the fuck out of here?
Why don't you make it like a tree and get out of here?
Make like a tree and leave. You sound like an idiot or a moron when you say it. I can't remember which one he says.
You're a moron.
Yep, that's true.
Anyway, this is a fucking clusterfuck
So,
podcast now.
So do you like raunchy comedies in general?
It depends on my mood, yeah. And also only if they're good.
Your mood if it swings?
Sure.
Meh.
I think that it has to be smart enough while also being raunchy, I think. Because like I recently watched like what so many people call one of the greatest raunchy comedies ever or whatever. And I just heard a fuckload of great things about it. And I was fully prepared to like it and have you fucking get on my ass for liking it. But fucking The Hangover sucks. That's an awful movie. That is a terrible movie. Completely unfunny. I probably laughed once or twice. But meanwhile, something like this, I am howling on the floor, even though I've seen it 10 times. Or again, like This Is the End as well, is fucking hilarious. Now, granted, that's for other reasons. Like I like, comedies, I guess, kind of about the industry in a way. Or there's a lot of like Michael Cera plays a fucking cokehead douchebag in that movie, but it's also supposed to be him and himself in real life. So I don't know. I guess it just depends on the mood and stuff. But I only really watched a few modern ones, and when it comes to some of like the older classic raunchy comedies, I haven't seen all too many of them, like a Porky's and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you.
Well, I've seen a bunch.
Because you're a raunchy boy.
I've seen a bunch, especially the classic ones. There's a lot of the newer ones I haven't seen. Yeah, it's like I'm not a big like Animal House fan.
Sure.
But I do like Blues Brothers, but that's not necessarily a raunchy comedy.
It's not really raunchy.
Yeah. I mean, it's rated R, but it's actually fairly tame. Yeah, it's like the sex comedies of like the Porkies and things. It's like I never had that kind of adolescence where I was like, oh, there's a hole in the shower of the girls' room, and I gotta look at all that. I don't know. It just never.
You was more interested in the hole in the shower of the boys' room.
Yeah, you get free candy.
Smoking in the boys' room. Fucking in the boys' room.
I mean, it's like, that's the thing is what you had said about the smart comedy. I felt that same way with like parody and satire. So it's like, I love the Mel Brooks. I love the Abrams Zucker movies. Dr. Strangelove. I mean, it's like that kind of stuff that was like, I mean, I do have the sense of humor of like a 6-year-old. So it's like really cheesy, stupid jokes I also find hilarious. That's probably why I like Mystery Science
Right.
Theater, is it's like it's smart making fun of things at the same time watching something like horribly poorly done underneath. It's
Mhm.
just I don't know, something about that. But I like I've never really cared for the Hangover stuff. I've never cared for the American Pie stuff. There's something about Mary was okay, but I mean I did like Clerks, which would be,
Sure.
you know,
Which
considered.
again, that's something I gotta watch as well.
Yeah, but it's like some of it was I worked in a video store, so I felt like that Randall guy. I know who that guy is.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like those kind of comedies have never been like the high comedies for me, for whatever
Okay.
reason. Even though there are ones I find funny.
Sure.
I was trying to see what some of like, you know, the greatest raunchy comedies of all time, just to see. Like people are like American Pie, and I'm like, and then Good Luck Chuck. And I'm like, seriously, the Dane Cook movies? Like I liked Waiting. Did you ever see that?
Mm, no.
Especially if you ever have any job experience in food service or dealing with the public, that one really hits hard, and like a
Okay.
truthiness more so. I mean, like some of the humor and the like dick joke stuff is very immature and not necessarily as funny. It's almost like a laugh because you almost feel bad for laughing at it.
Okay.
Would you consider Dumb and
But then there's
Dumber
even
a raunchy comedy?
no, it's PG-13.
Yeah, so a raunchy comedy you
I
feel
would I would
has to be
think
R.
you would need to be R.
Okay.
You need to be swearing a lot and making a lot of not just crude jokes, but like vulgar jokes, I think is what needs to classify a raunchy comedy.
I mean, that's fair.
Now just bringing up a list that I found online. There's stuff like Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Right.
I don't know what you think about that. You can
A
just tell me
little,
because I'm saying ones that I'll let you know if I've seen them.
yeah.
I haven't seen
That's a little more the stoner comedy than what I.
them.
I
Right.
mean, I was like,
Like I've seen the one scene,
oh
but I
yeah,
haven't seen the rest of the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Phoebe Cates is extremely attractive. Yes.
They also mention Forgetting Sarah Marshall, which is another one of those Judd Apatow movies.
Yeah, I watched that on a date. It was okay.
That was fine. That one's fine. That's not one of my favorites. Like Knocked Up is, I think, the best of the Judd Apatow stuff. That or 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Would you consider the original National Lampoon's Vacation to be a raunchy comedy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I really like that one. It's fucking hilarious. Of course, I like Harold Ramis too.
Mm-hmm. We already talked about some of these. I mean, this has Risky Business in there. This
I
list.
mean, it's been so long since I've seen that. I don't even remember that
You
being
forget.
much of a comedy.
Everyone thinks of Tom Cruise sliding across the floor when they think of this film. They forget that his character hires a prostitute and essentially becomes a pimp in the third act. I don't know. Anyway, that's from awardcircuit.com before they come after us. There's 40-Year-Old Virgin, which we both said is fucking hilarious.
Well, I mean, Steve Carell, that guy can do just about
It's Steve
anything
Carell.
and be funny.
Yes. Yeah. It's fucking hilarious. And when he gets the hair ripped off his chest.
Yeah, that hurt.
God. Number 2 was they have at Clerks, which you had talked about. Which again, I have to watch that.
Yeah, that's really good. That's the thing is like Clerks is actually a good story that has comedic elements to it.
Now that was originally given an NC-17 rating for language alone before it was appealed to an R.
That's my kind of humor right there. That's the thing. Like raunchy comedies never offend me.
Necrophilia.
Yeah. So I just want to make that
But
clear.
like subsequently, Kevin Smith made Zack and Miri make a porno,
which I didn't like.
which is fucking awful.
Yeah.
That's a fucking terrible movie.
Yeah, it was
and then they have number one. Number 1, they have Blazing Saddles,
fantastic.
which we have talked about on this podcast before, which is a fantastic movie and definitely a raunchy comedy. But I would say
it's like old school. I didn't necessarily. It's like it's fine. I guess Deuce Bigelow is kind of considered maybe a raunchy comedy because he's a male prostitute.
sure.
I don't necessarily like that actor, whatever his name is.
Who is even in that? Is it? It's one of
Rob
the Sandler
Schneider.
fuckheads. God, I hate Rob Schneider. I've
Yeah.
never liked Rob Schneider in any movie at
Schneider.
all.
Like
Any of them.
like the Scary Movie thing was okay.
Some of them, I think one, and which is the one that the Zucker did? 3?
Yeah, it was 3 or 4. I can't remember.
I think those 2 are good, but
Yeah.
it's hit and miss, right?
But it's kind of, yeah, it's like riding on the coattails of something that really wasn't that great to begin with. But
Right. But like Superbad is kind of your modern example. I think a lot of people go to for a raunchy comedy. That or Bridesmaids as well.
what
I think a lot
about
of people
what about
bring into the list.
Freddy Got Fingered?
Daddy, would you like some sausages?
Proud.
But that's bad, but also great.
Right. Well, I own it.
So you need to like Tom Green to like that movie.
Yeah, and that's a hard sell.
Because some people are like, this movie sucks, but like they must not have watched Tom Green stuff because it's so ridiculously on brand
Right.
to who he is.
I mean, it's
both like on screen and probably the behind the scenes stuff, like where it's the whole, wasn't there a theory or was it your theory where like he just took the money and just said like fuck you and just made a shit ass movie even though it was like a bigger budget.
I think Red Letter Media is the one that said that in their
okay
video.
That's what it was. Yeah.
I mean, but it's like,
which I can see that would be that'd be a Tom Green joke. Take the money and just go like, yeah, whatever.
and it's like the same thing with finding Andy Milonakis funny in his show, or finding Wonder Chosen funny, or Tom Goes to Mayor. I mean, there's like a lot of these kind of like Comedy Central, MTV, Adult Swim. I mean, Space Ghost Coast to Coast, even though it's a lot more.
Some of the
tame.
Adult Swim stuff is fucking hilarious.
Yeah. So it's like I like all that kind of.
Tim and Eric is such my fucking style of humor.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't. Yeah, that's a hard sell to some people. The fucking absurdist, weird ass, like basically like Rick and Morty's interdimensional cable episode, but stretched out into a full series.
But I mean, it's,
or they're just making it up as they go along and shit and fucking.
Yeah, meme culture came from somewhere. It's like people forget like Ren and Stimpy and Syphil and Ollie and like all of those early MTV shows, like how like out there they were, and then how it basically changed
and then
a lot of stuff
later on as well. Like I said, Tim and Eric, and also like Eric Andre show, stuff like that. I think kind of birthed the modern meme culture.
And Dave Chappelle.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, it shows fucking. The Chappelle show is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, like it doesn't get any funnier than that.
No.
Team America World Police, would you consider that a raunchy comedy?
Yeah, absolutely.
If
that's a great movie.
Yeah, I mean that might be my favorite. If I'm
that's a great
including that. I mean, anytime you have a sex scene with poop.
Ronry.
So Ronry.
America. Fuck yeah.
I love the sad one. The sad song where it's like everything slows down.
America. Fuck yeah. Matt Damon.
Freedom cost $1.05.
Oh, you know what's good too is by them is fucking the Book of Mormon.
And I haven't seen that. I need to see that.
Or just listen to it even. Don't even have to watch it, but I haven't seen it, I've just heard it, and it's fucking hilarious. Yeah, but I don't know how we tie this back all over to Superbad.
Well, it's just raunchy comedies in general. I mean, that's the thing is like with comedies, it's really hard to like break down. I mean, there are few comedies that like cinematically are top notch. And a lot of those are like older comedies.
Or ones that blend genres. They're less of just straight comedies. Like something like Hot Fuzz is a comedy, but also an action movie.
Right. Yeah. And that's
I think that one's visually interesting. Same with Scott Pilgrim.
Right. You know, but a lot of those are referential, like based on other things that have happened previously, you know, and so it's like it's different if you have like a comedy that fits in a specific archetype or stereotype. Which I think
I'm trying to think of what like the most well shot comedy would be, and I can't think of ones off the top of my head.
Well, I mean, if you consider Dr. Strangelove a comedy, that would definitely be one of them.
Sure, absolutely.
If you go back and watch the original Naked Gun movie, that's actually shot very much like a noir. There's like so many things.
Hilarious.
Yeah, and it's, you know, but that's one of the things is like kind of the old tropey, like based on old Hollywood where they actually use in camera effects and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to think of a modern. There's just not too many modern comedies. I mean, if you also want to talk about other raunchy things, and I don't know why it didn't occur to me until now, the Sacha Baron Cohen movies
Oh,
are fucking
sure. Yeah.
hilarious.
Bo Rat, Bruno.
And the Dictator, even though I know a lot of people don't
Mhm.
seem to hold the Dictator as highly, I think it's hilarious.
Yeah. Pamela Anderson.
My wife.
This is my wife. God damn it. What about Brothers Grimsby? Did you like that?
I have not seen it.
Okay. Apparently it was shitty, but I don't know.
And I
But like a lot of people, I think when they talk about Superbad, they talk about Dazed and Confused,
yeah,
which I think this is a less away from raunchy now and maybe more towards kind of just the hangout movie. But I see them brought up a lot in the same kind of um, vein, like the same sentence in regard of one's related to the 70s and one's related to like the mid 2000s of kind of, I guess, teenage life and high school and existence and what it was like around there to be a young person.
right.
And apparently, Booksmart, which came out this year, did the same kind of thing for this kind of decade. So I'd be interested to look at that. But the Clerks, I guess, for the 90s, even though it wasn't, to my knowledge, like high schoolers or anything.
Yeah, that's more like just losers out of school. It's not really a coming of
Right.
age.
But I don't know. Having not seen Dazed and Confused, I can't really speak to
Oh,
how
yeah,
close the
you haven't
two of
seen
them
it?
are.
Okay.
No,
No, I mean,
that and Superbad.
I personally wouldn't put them in the same category, but I could see people giving reasons why they would be. And I mean, genres themselves are all just made up anyway.
Sure.
So
I'm still trying to think of well shot comedies. I can't.
not as a well shot comedy, but just of like gross out humor. Jackass.
Sure. Yeah. Which is all real life stuff too.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Grandma's Boy?
No.
That is really, really good if you want not I mean, of course I know you're young. So maybe it's different. But if it's like for an older, not almost coming of age comedy, Grandma's Boy is one of the top ones, I think.
Okay.
Like
Who was in that
it's
one?
in the Adam Sandler universe,
Oh, sure.
but it's just it's probably one of the better ones. I mean, I still like Billy Madison. I mean, there's a lot of like SNL stuff, like Wayne's World, Tommy Boy. I know like none of those are R. I mean,
I mean, like the early stuff
yeah,
that Adam Sandler did, especially, is hilarious.
yeah.
Happy Gilmore and Waterboy and all them.
I guess kind of like Cheech and Chong are. I mean, it's still stoner comedy, but I guess it's
Yeah.
kind of raunchy because they do like have sex and take drugs. Kind of depends on what direction you want to go in. I mean, you could even like if you're talking about like well shot or well made, like almost art film type stoner comedy, raunchy comedies, you could do Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Terry Gilliam.
God, I fell in love that movie. That movie's awesome. And yeah, very well shot, like you were saying. Gets you right in the headspace of like a drug addict and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess if you want to go and genre blend as well too, like the Coen brothers.
Right, right,
Depends on what you find funny.
right. So like
'Cause, like
Inherent Vice could be hilarious to you.
Sure. Fargo's fucking hilarious. And that one's shot very, very, very well. Like The Lobster. That movie's fucking hilarious. Right? That one's got good cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
Most Yorgos in general is kind of inherently comedic and is shot very well.
Did you ever see Revenge of the Nerds?
No,
Yeah, that's.
there's a lot of other stuff I gotta watch.
I mean, I can. It doesn't age well.
Yeah, I've heard
Right,
that. I've heard some of the stuff, and it is just kind of
but it's kind of
dark.
like to me what I took it as is sort of like nerds are humans too, and they're not any different.
Oh God.
Like you might think they're sexually repressed, but in reality they want to have sex too. it's incels before there was incels.
Boy, do they. I guess in a way, David Lynch is fucking hilarious too. In some,
Yeah, I mean
some of
that's
his
the thing
movies.
is like there's so many different kinds of comedy. You know, I mean there's
Yeah.
like buddy cop comedy that could also have sexual humor in it. I mean and
Sure.
that's the thing, like anything in the 80s. I mean Silk Stockings, I know that's like 90s, but it's a lot of like 80s people involved in it. It's fucking hilarious,
Mhm.
but it's not intentional humor.
Right.
Now it's turned into Talking Stockings.
Jesus. Oh, see, Ska Kids. um, yeah, but at the end of it all, I really do think that Superbad is kind of still the supreme, at least for me, for especially the modern raunchy comedy
Yeah.
that I've seen. Because every time I come back to it, it's ridiculously funny. If not, it gets funnier every single time.
Man, you need to watch Grandma's Boy.
Fine, asshole.
Now that
I'll watch that instead of Too Old to Die Young.
Okay, you don't need to watch it that bad. There's probably not even a good place to see it. And
Probably
the
not.
funny thing is, the meta score is 33.
Jesus.
But who are you gonna
Yeah,
believe?
I always
People or me?
people. But I think we always run into the problem where when we talk about a comedy movie, which is like we were always nervous about not having enough material for it without just reciting the same
Mhm.
like the jokes from the movie, which is what we did early on in this podcast. But I think it was a good kind of like mind or look into our mindsets, I guess, towards comedy because we really haven't done that all that much. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta
What we
change
kind of
things
find
up.
funny, which for me is practically everything.
The thing is,
Life's a joke, so
we're not doing this to get paid money and we're worried about sponsorships or listeners. We're doing it because we like to talk about it, and as a benefit of it, we also upload it to the internet.
pretty much.
But yeah, Grandma's Boy came out the year before Superbad, and it's about a 35-year-old.
Jesus.
Yeah, but I think it's hilarious.
Sure. Well, maybe I'll watch it eventually.
You better, motherfucker.
Oh, how about Princess Bride is pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's kind of shot like an adventure movie. I don't know. It's kind of boringly shot. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, it's more of a romantic comedy.
Ooh. Get out of here with your romance.
Oh, by the way, Jonah Hill is in Grandma's Boy. Didn't know if you knew that.
Oh god.
And Nick
Here's a good raunchy comedy. Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah, The Wolf of Wall Street.
Never heard of it. Who's in that?
Legit. Have you never heard of it?
I own it, man.
Yeah. Well, why were you being a
this is
fucking dickhead about it then? Why were you being a goddamn son of a bitch?
See,
then,
I
huh?
thought you were gonna say 21 Jump Street.
This shit's been fucked since Jump Street. But that is a good one too. That movie's fucking hilarious. Both that one and 22 Jump Street are awesome. Just Phil Lord and Chris Miller are hilarious in general. So to get them to do a raunchy comedy is pretty awesome.
You know who I think is a good actor is Baghead number 2 from Django Unchained.
You're an idiot.
Do you know who?
Did anybody bring any extra bags?
Do you know who Baghead number 2 is?
Nobody brought any extra bags. I was just asking. It was just a question. I know who it is, you fucking moron.
Whatever. You probably
Maybe
like
the
Reno
Jonah Hill.
911.
I haven't seen it, but
Oh, how did I forget about this for raunchy comedies? Walk Hard.
how did you forget
That's
about
an
that asshole?
amazing movie.
I don't believe you.
Have you not seen it?
It's not. You're an asshole.
Have you
You're a raunchy comedy.
have you not seen it?
Have you not seen it?
Judd Apatow wrote it.
Wow. No, I gotta watch that still. I know. That's on my list.
Jesus Christ. You haven't
Calm
seen
down,
anything.
asshole. I only watch movies from 2010 onward.
It's literally 2007.
I said 2010,
I know
dickhead.
you
That's
did.
3 years too soon.
Whatever. That doesn't mean anything.
It means I'm never watching your piece of shit fucking Judd Apatow written walk hard cocking motherfucking movie.
Walk Hard cocking.
Give me all your hard cocking.
Hard cock and
Jesus.
balls.
What else can we talk about Superbad? Because we talked about random other comedies for like 10 minutes. 10, 40.
Did you know that Jonah Hill enjoys the films of Woody Allen?
I did. Did you know that you're a dickhead?
Yeah.
Bam, got him.
What about Nacho Libre?
That movie's pretty funny. You have to watch Tenacious D and The Pick of Destiny.
No, I don't. When did that come out?
2006.
I don't watch any movie after 2010.
Your fault. You're lying.
You didn't hear me. I said after 2010.
You're lying.
Roll the tape.
2006 is after 2001.
God, you're an idiot.
I just stated an objective fact, and you're being a goddamn
poopy snout.
Fuck nugget. Got it, shit stick. This has just turned into a raunchy comedy podcast.
So, which comedian would you want to fuck?
You know who I'd like to eat the butthole of?
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill.
But only young Jonah Hill.
McLovin.
He was still fat.
Oh, God. Yep.
That'll do it.
That'll do, pig.
Wait, IMDb has the top 250 superhero movies. Are there even 250 superhero movies? Jesus.
Is it a fan-made list or an actual one?
No, it's a poll.
Weird.
Wait a minute, that doesn't make sense.
What?
Oh, superhero movies from the top 250. They're not actually listed.
There it is.
That's
I was going to say, Jesus. What's number one, The Dark Knight?
Well, I don't know. I didn't vote. You want me to vote?
I'm on it right now. Number one, Dark Knight. Number two, Endgame. Number three, Into the Spider-Verse. Number four, Infinity War. Number five, Dark Knight Rises.
No, that's not
Number
what it
six,
is.
Batman
That's
Begins.
without you. You have to vote. You can
Weird.
see the results without voting, but that's not.
This is just a list of, like, from user ratings, the top 9 user ratings.
I know, and that's not what they are when I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, well, you know what?
It's literally not.
Why are you such a shithead? Fuck this. Let's quit this podcast.
All right,
Go play
bye,
Minecraft.
everybody. We hate you. Go die.
Anyway, we hope you enjoyed us kind of talking about Superbad and then also talking about our favorite comedy movies and what makes us laugh. Not even our favorite comedy movie, just random fucking raunchy comedy movies that I haven't even
Such a
seen.
shit.
All of them. You're such a fucking shit stick. Anyway, if you like the show,
Got a light?
leave us a like, leave us a subscribe, leave us a subscribe, please. Ring the little bell. Let us know when.
Hit that
We'll
bell.
let you know when we got our videos.
Hit that
coming
bell
out.
like it's a big old clip.
All the new podcasts. We'll flick the bell for you when it comes, when the new videos come out. Anyway, we're still hoping to get some different kind of stuff going on other than just episodes of this show.
I've been busy jerking off.
Look-
Okay.
So stay tuned for that kind of stuff. Anyway, you can also follow us all on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at Alex's Reviews, Garrett on Twitter at Garrett Donardo, the show on Twitter at digital_podcast. It'd be great if you're listening. Please follow that. It doesn't tweet too often, so you're not going to get bombarded with things, but it'd be nice to get the numbers up from fucking 3 or whatever it is, and 2 of them are us. I think that's about it. I don't know what we're doing next week. Maybe Batman vs Superman, maybe fucking not. I don't know. Why
Maybe
don't you
fuck
fucking
you.
come back? Maybe you go fuck yourself. Why don't you come on all the way over here and
Chew on my
fight me about it?
grits.
You don't even know where I live, son of a bitch. Talking to all the audience members, want to fight about the fact that we teased Batman vs Superman for the last 17 years in a row, and we haven't even done a single episode on a movie about Jesus. What kind of a Christian podcast is this? We haven't fucking done a movie about Jesus. God damn it. Anyway, the God's Not Dead is next week. Week after that, we'll be doing God's Not Dead 2. A week after that, we'll be doing God's Not Dead 3. A week after that, we'll be doing God's Not Dead. Just kidding. He is.
What a twist.
Or is he? I guarantee you, I know what that movie's about. It's about an atheist who went through a traumatic event that made him stop believing in God, and then slowly he learns to find God again. Or if it's like God's Not Dead, it's about an atheist who went through a traumatic event and lost all faith in God, and then dies because he refuses to accept God back into his life. So he gets hit by a car and dies.
Yeah, but the thing is, okay, I don't want you to give all religious movies a bad name because Baptist Man is fucking hilarious.
That movie, though, God's Not Dead, is a piece of garbage.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Propaganda ass fucking garbage shit. Anyway, before we go into a big rant about this, bye!
Bing bong bong.